Hi, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk and for unboxings.com, and here I have the Panasonic Lumix TZ6, which is obviously one of the newer cameras from Panasonic in the Lumix range. So just going to do a quick unboxing for you that way. So first of all, we have some software on CD-ROM, which is our USB driver, and also contains Microsoft software. We also have manual, warranty card, and some other information there in the package. We have the camera itself inside this pouch, which I'll look at in a bit more detail in just a second. Also in the box we have a charger. It's interesting that we do actually have an external charger, so you don't charge the battery up in the camera, you charge it up in the external charger. So that's a standard Panasonic charger. And we have the battery itself, which is fairly small. It's quite chunky, but it's fairly small and light. It's 895 milliamp hours. A series of cables. So first of all, we have a composite cable with audio, and it has a proprietary connector there, which is I would say probably suits only this camera itself, but certainly Panasonic proprietary cable. And then we have a USB cable, so standard USB on one end and then that proprietary connector on the other, so we can transfer the photographs and movie clips from the camera to the PC. And then underneath we have the mains cable, standard mains cable with figure 8 style connector, and then we have a wrist strap that we can connect to the camera, so that obviously helps us not to drop the camera itself. So that's really all there is in the box. So looking at the camera itself, it's quite chunky and it's fairly weighty, but the reason really being for that is that it has a 12 times optical zoom, so there is a certain amount of space that you need for a zoom lens of that kind. Let's just pop the battery in the bottom. So the battery pops in like so, and also this is where our SD card goes, so it takes a full size SD card and supports up to 16 gig of SDHC memory. On the back we have a 2.7 inch display, which is actually a high res display, so I believe they say that it's a 320,000 pixel display, so it's a fairly high res. Then obviously we have our buttons and settings on the back, so we have a switch to select between camera and playback mode. We have a cross style buttons selection here, so we can use that for navigating around the display and pushing different buttons. We have one for self timer, one for flash, macro mode, and our white balance mode, and then the menu button in the center, display button and Q menu. On top we have our on off switch, so let's just switch on. And then we have the rocker or slider here for wide angle telephoto for our zoom. And we have our mode selector, so we can do intelligent auto. We have some various other modes. Obviously the zoom lens then moves in and out based on what we're doing here with the dial. And you actually have a 2-speed zoom, so you can zoom in sort of fine amount, or also zoom in quite quickly. As I say, it's a 12 times optical zoom, coupled with a 10.1 megapixel sensor, so 10.1 megapixel, pretty good. Have different shooting modes that we can use for that. Don't have a touch screen like some of the other Lumix cameras that we've seen recently. This one isn't touch screen. We actually do have to use the buttons on the side, so we can't use a different focus point or focus mode based on where we're tapping on the screen, but that's fairly sort of typical and standard. On the front we also have a flash. Nothing actually around on this side. Obviously on the back we've already seen, and down the other side we just have a connector there underneath this flap, connector for that those cables that we've seen. So the USB and the video cables are just all on that one connector, which is a bit of a departure, a bit of a change for Panasonic, because normally have a series of connectors on the side, so there is just that one. So we can also shoot video in small bursts, and where we do have different sort of scene selection and shooting modes, which is quite cool. We have intelligent auto, we have various other shooting scenes, and anti-shake and various other modes, which we'll go into in a bit more detail when we actually come to do the full review. But that is the unboxed. This is the Lumix TZ6, and a full review and some bit more detail will be online on tracyandmatt.co.uk very soon.